It is a battle for places here in the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship for the 2020 edition, as the teams will be hoping to progress through to the tournament. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us as we build up to our second clash of the day. Still coming to you live from the Wolfson Stadium. We were hoping for clear blue skies, but it does seem like that is not on the cards for today. There is a chance of a precipitation here. We've had light drizzles of rain, but we're hoping that it will not hamper play, as it is South Africa that are up against the Lesotho here. Well, let's find out about Amajida's preparation, especially because this is a side that finished as a runners-up in last year's edition of the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship, and this time around, Coach Helman Kalele will be hoping that they can go a step further in lifting the trophy.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased that the league will be starting very soon, and also with the other leagues, the SAFA leagues, because we are not only focusing on scouting on the MTC. We believe that there is a lot of talent throughout the whole country, and it is our duty to go there and watch and scout in the other SAFA leagues, because this national team belongs to everyone, especially each and every kid that plays football. So we need to make sure that whatever kid that has a talent that we believe that it will help the nation, then we just bring them. But with the inclusion of MTC, it also brings another added advantage. Yeah, I think it also, you could see that, there was a huge difference between ourselves and our opponents. Some of the boys that we have, especially those that played in an MTC league, they are exposed to some kind of pressure, to play in a pressured environment. So you could see some of them, they adapted quite very well. And more especially when we are a goal down, and even when we were 2 goals down at some later stages, but they're able to hold their heads up, and continue to work hard, So that experience, I believe that it had a positive contributing factor in our comeback, and even towards the last minute where we could have just won the game, with the last touch of the game.
It has been a tough year with major ramifications, but we look at what is happening this year. We've had back-to-back wins from Mozambique. It opens the door for them as far as the knockout stages are concerned, when they won 2-0 against Zimbabwe in the earlier game that we saw kick off at the very same venue. They do have an edge over all the other teams having back-to-back wins. Today, South Africa have it all to do if they have any hopes of progressing. Same can be said for Lesotho. But for Zimbabwe, it does mean that that window of opportunity has slowly but surely just started decreasing in size. Group B, Malawi and Zambia are leading the charge with 3 points each, but the Comoros and Namibia are yet to put points to their names. Another Group C clash will be happening out at the Govendale Stadium, and this is how things currently look, with Eswatini as well as Angola that have played a game each, but Botswana will be in action here at the Govendale Stadium today. It has been a very tough year for all of the teams that are here, but let's get thoughts on the squad depth as well as what both teams have to do as far as today's game is concerned. Coach, with the current group standings and how things are looking, the pressure that it puts on you and your team here today to try and get a win against South Africa.
Yeah, thank you. The pressure is too much because if we do not win today's game, it means we're out of the tournament. As the results, the past results now, Mozambique are ahead of 6 points. So it's going to be a win-to-win situation between Lesotho and South Africa. So it puts a lot of pressure because it's a must-win game for us.
I look at the changes that you've made, and it's in the engine room, the midfield. Please elaborate.
I mean, we just try to counter their strengths, as we could see that they are much more offensive, or they are much more organized, or they could penetrate through the middle. So we're trying to block the traffic in the middle so that they could either go on the sides.
Thank you, Coach. All the best.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Coach, please put it into perspective for us, the importance of this game.
Thank you so much. I would say this game is the most important game in for our lives, because it will also determine are we going to be able to proceed to the next stage of the tournament, because it is a cup final. In actual fact, I told the boys that in each and every game that we are playing from today, it is a cup final, so we treat it as a cup final.
Let's talk about that mentality now from the team, as you're saying that you want to treat it as a cup final. You look at the changes and how the team performed in the last game against Zimbabwe. They had to pull themselves into the game time and time again.
Yeah, like I said, in our last interviews, that I'm so happy about the character that they displayed, and also the type of football that we played. We dominated the ball possession, but again, ball possession, it's not gonna win your games. We have to make sure that we make use of the opportunities that we create. So today we have the same mentality to work until the last minute, but the most important thing is to make sure that we make use of our opportunities that we create. And of course, we are aware that we are coming against a very organized team defensively. So for us is to make sure that we break their defense and create more goals, and of course, and to defend as well.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, son.
For Coach Bafokeng of Lesotho, is of paramount importance that they win this one. For Coach Hellman of South Africa, he says we'll treat it like a cup final. Motlogeleng Kinenda for this one.
Well, Lesotho up against South Africa COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship second game. Now, the stadium that my colleague was hoping there will be some sunshine, but unlucky there. It's still cloudy but still playable. However, the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship is really starting to close in, and she says that the windows are slightly and slowly closing in, and certain teams are already just threatening to bow out. The likes of Zimbabwe stand a chance of not advancing to the next stage after suffering a defeat against Mozambique. However, today, right now, it is all about these two teams. South Africa led by that very young man, Rowan Human, a very interesting character that is, landed a few days ago and ready, starting with his role as a captain of the team. South African side having made a few changes, of course, because certain legs might be needed later on in the game, especially playing against a team like Lesotho that are your neighbors. So pretty much the style of play and the way you play, they know it better, they know you, so you cannot cheat them. We're looking forward to a thrilling encounter, an encounter that really needs to find a winner, because a draw really is a threat for either side. They just need to consolidate and seal this match as early as they could.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Lesotho.
Well, they know what is at stake. We always say that after the national anthem, there is no turning back. Now, referees are Kiabetwe Dintwa from Botswana, assisted by Clement Kanduku from Malawi, and the other assistant will be Petros Mzigai Fani Mbingo from Eswatini. Oh, the officials will be looking at maybe just ushering this match without issuing the biggest card, that is red, of course. And a fourth official will be Hamalila Munji from Zambia. Oh, they know what is at stake when it comes to a match that will be a decider for both sides, because a draw might see South Africa crossing fingers and now depending on a calculator. Yet they could perhaps seal the deal as early as they could. But the starting 11 of Lesotho, nothing new there, because coach says, I believe in my boss. Percy Mohami, Katiso Selili is still back on to play, and Tsele Rankasa still a part of the squad. Now, as for the South African side, you can see the likes of Rahim Milazi and Oswin Apolis, Rowan Human coming behind to support the two attacking strikers now. That is Sinen Jongom Kiva, who couldn't score a goal, and added a member there, that is Jaden Adams. And we saw man of the match like Ethan Brooks will look into solidifying where he started. Maybe he just needs to keep it's solid, no taking away from this El Capitano Tapelo Mohale. Oh, a solid player too, with his small body, a very aggressive, very vocal, very instructive young man, and you'll be looking to just hearing what he has in store today against South Africa. And of course, the captain himself, Lancaster Rowan Human, a South African youngster, promising youngster, to soon knock on the doors of the national team. And there's the main himself, that is Bafukeng Mohapi from Lesotho, was also an assistant coach to Coach Thabo Sinong. Again, another coach who was assistant coach to Coach Thabo Sinong, that is Coach Helman Mkelele. So grand we have a mentor and a mentees. So the mentor is sitting on the stands watching his mentees, and off we go with the kickoff ball with Ozinapolis already on the front foot. That is Ozinapolis putting a crosser for South Africa, and now almost an own goal already coming from the defender of Lesotho, Shali Likota. Oh, the pressure coming from this man. Obviously, it's just trickling fast. That is Ethan Brooks putting pressure, and a good hard and low coming from Ozinapolis. Ball played out. Nicely driven in, but the wind really giving it a different direction, not reaching the pack of South African yellow shirts in that box. I must say, we were already talking the stats of the game, and already we see themselves attacking, that is South Africa. And look at that touch from the keeper, good reflexes and good eyes, because Shali Likuta almost put it at home, and the pressure of yours coming from this young man Ethan Brooks. Well, reflexes Musewu Sihlulu, you did exceptionally well with your first touch. Hope it puts you into the game through and through. Well, we yet to see what Lesotho has in store, because their formation looks like an attack formation. They're not here to sit back. They just want an early goal if time allows, if a chance avails itself. You'll say there's a pressure on the under 20, because under 17s have done their task when they were representing at the COSAFA under 17 youth championship, that is, and they won the tournament. Now the test of time and test of character now was within the South African side. Obviously Olutu Mzimela coming on as well to just be given a run from Amazulu. You've got to give credit to the energy that Lesotho have every time they play a game. You could just hear the captain forever screaming and forever issuing instruction. Now a crosser played in here, but cleared off the box by that man Ngos Kona Khatebe. He's been an instrumental role there at the back, being solid alongside Arkutenko Simkaba. Mushala Makola, the goal scorer, of course, the man that brought South Africa back to life, scoring there in the last minute of the additional time with a ball that ricocheted, and he was able to just profit from that one. Oh, here's the man that Sinenjongom Kiva, coach, still has. I believe that you didn't score in the first game, but I believe that you have what it takes to score there. Well, you were denied a run and you came from behind, so it ain't your ball, young man. It goes to Lesotho. Like an issue that maybe must be looked into is that you need a win. Mozambique have set the bar already. They go to the hotel knowing that they are safe. They need just a draw to just consolidate everything and stay number one. Or maybe if somebody else wins more than them, they come to number two. But as far as Mozambique are concerned, oh, I can tell you one thing, the boys are smiling to the hotel. Well, a mosquito pass coming from that young man, Jaden Adams. Cool, come and collected it. Saves that one in Costco Nakhatebe. Still with Rowan Human, young man from Tel Aviv, out in Israel, where same place the likes of Tsepo Masilela were playing in the year 2015, 2014. I think 2013 as well. Yeah, that is Tsepo Masilela, just currently playing for Amazulu left back. Already he's wearing the armband there. Clearly in Israel, you are instilled the leadership qualities, because Coach Helman Mkelele here also trusted Rowan Human with the armband and said, young man, you have got to lead the team. Regardless that he was not with the squad throughout the camp, he comes back 2 days before the tournament and he grabs it and he puts it on his arm and just ushers the team very well. Ball played in here and a chance for South Africa to get an own goal here. Doesn't look like an own goal. I think they put a lot of pressure again. This man Ethan Brooks was there to put pressure in. The captain is in disbelief and he says, I could have cleared it away. Is just saying couldn't have happened that way. Jaden Adams tried to whip it in, but the clearance by Lesotho was not the greatest clearance, because again Jaden brought it back in, and the captain, as he tried to clear it away, pressure coming from Ethan Brooks was just too much. Captain couldn't put his whole foot around the ball and he chipped it over his own keeper. That's what he would say. Oh well. Tough luck, young man. Still early in the days, still early in the hours, on the minutes of the game, should we say, because days are going by and hours are going by. Well, you're a leader. Leaders make mistakes too. You still need to keep your head up, motivate the team, and try go at South Africa and look for that equalizer. So I think this one goal might set them off a little bit, but it's all in the state of the mind. Well, South Africa are 1 goal up and Lesotho 0. Kola plays back to his partner in crime at the back. That is Atenko Simkaba. Human finds Brooks. Brooks back to Human to find the man Sinenjongom Kiva to that man Rahim Milazi. Puts in a nice drilled in cross to try find Sinenjongom Kiva, who was just unfortunate. He couldn't get his foot in there. The defense-wise, Lesotho Tapelo Mohali was able to just guide it out. He put his body with the opponent and just not give him the room. Well, cross coming from this man again. The main tall man couldn't get that one right. So that is Mushala Makola. Well, seems like a young man is on the ground there. There was a bit of a contact. That is Atenko Simkaba. No, I don't think it's probably a head injury, and he's got his hands around his head. Oh, 18 years old. 18 years old. Well, he cannot say he's not all right now. They still need a soldier like him. Oh, you've got substitutions that could perhaps make it into the game. The likes of Kinen Pezenate, who came on as a substitute. I mean, a young man has just signed with SuperSport United. And you have Keleto there, Sifama, who's also just recently registered his first team play minutes with Kaizer Chiefs. Now, there's a man with a big heart. That is Atenkosi. That is Nkosi Konakhatebe, rather. Now, of course, it's played in, and Sinenjongo just couldn't get the header right. And cleared by the captain himself. And it is Tapelo Mohad who made that blunder, that mistake at the back. There's a young man, Ethan Brooks from TS Galaxy, a team that has recently gotten a status from in the PSL rather. So he's no longer a junior NFD. He's now with a Premier Soccer League, that is the DSTV, the Premier Soccer League. So yeah, young man will be put to task as well here. Nicely put in it. Do they have the height? And it's in Njongo, just not sure what he wanted to do with that ball. Was it a header? He wanted to maybe get it on his lap, maybe. Decision making. Now a driver from Osvinapolis and Kiva here could have went for a header, a pumpy one rather, punch it. Let's say a pumpy rather, punch the ball. Now a shot coming from this young man Osvinapolis with his left foot, just unleashing some power. The young man has got the strength. The man who's cut his hair now, so identifying sometimes is a bit of a challenge. Look at him, just knowing that he's in front of goal. He went for an in-step shot instead of him lacing it. I think as well, the pace of the ball and his pace just couldn't allow him to be comfortable. Well, coach is already up on his feet. That is Bafukeng Mohapi. And I can say you safely say you that SuperSport United is signed these young stars from Bidvest West, who are also a part of the national team as we speak. That is Sinenjongo Mkiva. Now, and Kinen Pezenate, who is also going to be a part of the SuperSport family. And, from Highlands Park also they took a talent Mbata. Oh, those are good acquisitions, because those young stars really do have minutes on their legs, and they were very impressive in the previous seasons when some of them were part of the multi-choice ski challenge. No, intentionally in Goskona Khatia, but just provoking this man to push him. That is Katlego Rapulane. Now you have Katlego Rapulane in the Lesotho squad.
Press them there! Yes! Up, 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 up! Yes, Ozu!
The ball in favor of this man who feels he was infringed. That is Atenko Simkaba. Being given a foul. Rowan Human will be the man that does in and out runs, box to box, as what he can do. Then played it to Apollos. Apollos finds Jaden. Jaden Adams couldn't keep it, couldn't direct his pass. Again, Goskona Khatebe unable to control the pass from Ethan Brooks. Good turn and a good body there from this man. Nkaba. Mistake there coming from Mushala Makola. Not able to hit that ball properly there. They could have Lesotho put pressure maybe. Now Rahim Milazi on the back and he's got the pace and he's going to cut it back to find that main man Sinenjongo, but it finds the forever on the bike as well. That is Oswin Apollos to Goskona Khatebe. Goskona Khatebe finds Ethan Brooks with some speed of skill, but throw in there. Oh, he's got a tricky, smart player, this young man. Ethan Brooks, they are unable to pop out of that man, Kalelelo Rapuleng. No. Boys, 15 national team caps. That is Kanalelo. He's from Mafiteng in Lesotho. Well, don't forget to get in touch with us on COSAFA TV. That is a hashtag on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram remains COSAFA under 20. Share your thoughts and your views too. Would love to hear what you have to say. Well, Ethan Brooks to Sinenjongo. Sinenjongo tries to drill it in for Human. Now clearance from Lesotho still not the greatest because gives it away to the opposition team. And pressing high, that is South Africa able to win the ball and just be able to take shots on the goal. It looks like they're coming out all right. The likes of my goodness, there was power on that ball, and as I was saying, that poor clearance coming from these guys, not able to clear the ball on time, not being able to pass their teammates. And Rowan Human would definitely use his technique very well. Mushala Makola just finding this man, Jaden Adams, and that ball floating for no one else. And Rowan Human says, I will put good height, good weight with the outer foot. It just beat that man, Musweu Sihlolo. Oh, look at that pass, look at that shot going at goal, and the keeper was unable to just save that one because it went a different direction the moment it approached him. Well, South Africa out to send a clear message. I've got a 2-0 lead That is South Africa. No. Lesotho will be looking at a comeback, maybe in the first half, or try and get an early goal, because it's still within 18 minutes of the match. I mean, if you are a team with a plan, a strategy, you would know that you can get through this man. The Atenkosim Kabas of the tournament, who are just highly motivated, and the energy is just on another level. Captain is giving away throw in, yet he could have watched that ball go out. Mkaba turning all by himself there, being pressured by the man Hlomeleng Libina. That is Hlomelang rather. What matters now is that concentration levels need to be high, they need to be at a good pick. Hlomelang gives a touch to Oluwethu Mzimela, one of the keepers that emerged from the MDC team of Amazulu, and promoted to the first team as well at the age of 17. That is Mzimela, and I wouldn't say they did anything wrong there. Young man is a beast at goal, he's a spider when need be. He's one of the greatest keepers we saw emerging from MTC. Oh, El Capitano from Lesotho, that is Tapelo Mohale. He's an aspiring economist. Well, he started with the under 17s and got himself a good 14 caps. And he's now sitting on 2 caps for the under 20. Well, probably this is his 3rd cap. Now ball played to try find Mkiva. And not too much distance on it. I say that South Africa is just adding numbers behind the ball. It's either it's 2-on-1 or it's 3-on-2. So there's always an extra man when they're marking. Must give credit to the energy levels that these young players have just possessed here. Now Rahim Mila, as he drops the shoulder and he puts too much weight on the ball, but he spokes it to find that man, Jaden Adams. I mean, never dying attitude coming in from Rahim Mila to find Jaden Adams. Now ball to find goes corner Khatebe, who goes back to Osvin Apollis, who's had a good shot at goal. Who's also having a number of caps with Supersport first team, as well as coming from the Ajax Academy in 2016 to join Supersport United. Young man idealizes Rashford. Well, Osvin Apollis gets closer here. Can he then take a strike? But he tries to find Ethan Brooks, but keeper comes out. That is Muswewu. Was able there to just deny Ethan Brooks the goal he was hunting for. No, Mhlala Makola, one of the goal scorers, centre back, of course, already registered a goal. Now Ethan Brooks is trying to break the offside trap, and I think he has done it right. But keeper comes out, Muswewu, to just grab that one at its height. Now Mkaba timing with that one was not the greatest, and nothing to trouble Oluwethu Mzimela here. Now Jaden Adams tries to find Sinenjongo Mkiva. Some body weight there to push Mkiva out of play. Oh, man is still out. Coach says come inside. Now Jaden Adams is to find Ethan Brooks. Brooks trying to pocket it for Rahim Mila as he was on a run, but unable to just get it past that man at the back, Shalili Kotla. Police are trying to switch play, not too much power on it, unable to get it on the other side to Rahimbo Milazi. Lesotho on the front foot here. Pesi Mohammed has dispossessed the ball, and Milazi on the run, getting a pass from Osvin Apolis, but it seems like Ryan Milazi is putting too much weight or power on these balls, and they just seem to be too fast for him. Well, again, Jaden Adams is trying to take a shot, but the bodies are just there to block him and not give him the room. And Rowan Human, some skill here and there, you know, just to calm the nerves and show that we still have the confidence to do it right. And Ethan Brooks going for goal, but just over the crossbar. And maybe he should have played a wall pass to find Osvin Apolis Sinenjorom Kiva. Now Coach Helman Mkelele here is one of the coaches who really know what South Africa needs when it comes to matches like this, where they need to qualify, where they need to advance to the next stage. He has been around for the longest time. He used to be one of the fastest wingers in South Africa, and I used to enjoy when the commentators would say Mkelele Manzi, you know, because that is a good of a Zamama Sondo used to say that, and that's when we got to learn about it. The Speedy Gonzalez, and I've never heard a player being nicknamed Helmet Mkelele. Well, looks like this man is now looking at maybe bringing one player on. Oh, it's 24 minutes, so the water break is already taking place. That is the cooling break. Comes fast and big as well. I mean, already we are 25 minutes into the game. I haven't seen much coming from this man Leonardo Roy, who then came on this time around to start the game. Oh, there's a coach just sharing a few pointers with that man standing outside. That is Mkolisi Mutahe. Oh, here's the goal that just could have been cleared better by Lesotho. And again, Jaden getting the second chance to put it in. And the captain, unfortunately, unlucky, didn't have a strong foot to actually clear it away from goal. Keeper was also coming out. Well, there was pressure coming from Makola and that man, Ethan Brooks. Oh, Jaden Adams getting a second chance to rectify that cross. The initial one, look at Ethan Brooks celebrating before it even went on. Now, Makola, the main man who put pressure on them, was the one who gave a good pass. And Jaden Adams was able to just roll it for Rowan Human, and Rowan Human put that good power and direction on it. And it served away from the keeper. He already thought he had it covered, but it served away. Now, for Rowan Human, that will be a motivation of some sort, coming from his team, where he's sitting on 3 goals, and now South Africa also he's registering more goals. And he's with the under 20s, I think. Then in the near future, Coach David Notwane will look into making use of his services, especially now that the Tebogo Mukwenas and the Sipombules are busy with the first team. However, the coach makes an early sub and says, come young man, it seems like on the left hand side it's a bit heavy for you. Let's rather rest you early and bring on fresh legs in this 27th minute of the match. He's already asked to come and rest. Let's say rest a minute. And now Rowan Human with a pass intercepted there by the fresh legs, that is. That is Mukolisi Mutai. Well, it's not Mukolisi, it's Mukolisi. We must find a proper pronunciation with this names of ours. Well, Kimutahe. Mutahe. Get it right. If you think I'm getting it wrong, or there's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook where you can just correct us if you can. Oh, here's the man who's also the assistant coach of the senior national team, an assistant to coach Thabo Sinong, who's also within us in the stadium, obviously playing against a squad or a team he once coached. It's of interest to seeing some of these boys and saying, you guys have grown. Well, I left you in the good hands of another coach who's well represented in South Africa, that is Coach Helman Mkelele. A pass with no address, then Ethan Brooks just not communicating well with Rowan Human until this man, I think, goes corner Khatebe, puts in a cross, well, with no direction too. I think this is the second pass that South Africa they just kick the ball forward, not finding anyone, rather than keeping the passes short and making sure that they have an address. Rather, they are sent to the actual people rather than to having an email bouncing. You know, it's a bit of a challenge if that's the case. Now Human finds Makola, a goal scorer, this young man. Makola brought South Africa back to life. Again, playing these touches to try and switch sides and still move forward and have more of their players in the opponent's half. That makes them sit deep and sit back. And you see Oswin Apolis forever just creating that room for this man who's already on the run, and Kosko Nakhatebe just tacking in. Now Ethan Brooks, can it give something here? And then he takes it to take a curler. Or keeper says, I'm late now. You can beat me, Ethan Brooks. Man has been quiet. That is Leonardo Roy. That's his first game. I mean, the last time we saw Bilal playing on this left back, and today it's Leonardo. Oh, he's got minutes too on his books, this young man. Now Lesotho trying to trouble South Africa, but seems to be no numbers, no players getting closer. Well, sounds to you that the social media and social chat will help you with this pronunciation. And I must say, my colleague Lurato Paco is a Sutu, so she just said, Big Mo, it is not Sidili, it's CDD. So the L is D, rather. Oh, thank you there, my colleague, you got me on track. Don't want to butcher these young men's surnames. Ball played to Mzimela. He must be feeling the breeze, this young man. Nothing much has been brought to him. He hasn't been tested that much. No set pieces, no one-on-ones. You know, he's just in this first 30 minutes of the game, hasn't even dived for any ball. Oh, high pressing by South Africa, and this man Nkoskhona Khatebe winning it, but Sinenjong Mkiva not reading this high pressing, opening up for that ball. Now Human seems to be having a time of his life in the center, just being able to play a switch play and follow Ethan Brooks and not sit too deep. Now, here's a man that is forever on a skill and a bike. That is Rahim Milazi. Ethan Brooks tends to find Khatebe, the boy from KZN Academy. I'll say that academy is really producing quality, undoubtedly so. Now, Osvin Apollo is asking for 1-2, but too much weight on it. He's got the appetite, this man. He's got the energy. Endurance is just superb. And I know that getting more minutes on his legs really prepare him to just knock on the bench of a super sport again, and maybe be introduced bit by bit. And the next season he'll be one of the starters, just the same way as the Sipombules were playing. No, bit by bit, and Coach Kaitano Tembo will know very well what it's like to groom these players. And I say so as well that Coach Banele Kopo is also one of the influencers, one of the coaches that really identify talent. And if you have him there, you would know that you are most likely going to at least have 6 or 7 players just poaching into the first team door seasonally, undoubtedly so. And you just say it's all about having the eye to identify talent, and he does. Raw talent. If you think of players, you would really have to write a whole book. Now, Apollo is one of the players that come from Guanelekopo. He goes for a shot, but this time around he's unable to break that wall of Lesotho. Now played it to Khatebe, who's got a chance to drill it in and hard and low. The keeper ricochets it, not to save it. Now the question is, can he? No, good, solid close up by Makola, and that man at the back, Atenko Simkaba. Must be a card issued to Ukalalelo Rapuleng. And young man just going hard there, and gets himself in the referee's books. That is Kalalelo. I think this man Ethan Brooks had already polished it, and if you see that the starts rubbing off his shin and just going down, so he knows very well that there it is just a bookable offense, and well, he will have to walk it out. Ethan Brooks, I mean, he's got the energy still to cause an upset in this match, and he wouldn't want a previous goal scorer to come out this early. Well, strong man that is Ethan Brooks. He doesn't even go out. He is up and running and already making an attempt in those spaces that Lesotho are giving between the defenders. Well, I think they're defending with 4 as a bit of a disadvantage. Now Ethan Brooks lays it for Ryan Miller as he wanted to just go at first chance, but I think the positioning of the body wasn't well positioned for him to go for that shot. No, Apollos plays with Khatebe. Khatebe looks for Ethan Brooks to Apollos. Force them to stay deep, force them to stay in their half. Well, they're defending in numbers, so you need to rotate the ball, you need to pass one another. The ball for Lesotho, but the passing still not connecting. That is Mukulisi Mutaya. Human finds Khatebe finds Ethan Brooks and a bit of a race there. Now Khatebe, too much of a good thing. When you have numbers in the box, you rather play it early. You rather pass your teammates. And Human finds Makola. Nkaba. Oh, the Suits are finding it hard to just connect the touches, to just break into the defense of South Africa. It's just South Africa on the ball, at most. I haven't seen much coming from this man, and a showing of starts, obviously from Leonardo Roy, who came on for Bilal. Jaden Adams keeping it calm and collected there to find Makola, who then plays it to Atenko Simkaba. Lesotho was absent in the 2019 COSAFA. This is front of women's. Throw in for Lesotho. Lesotho had an opening game where they played. Referee says it's a foul outside the box. That is Atenko Simkaba, who put his body in there, just diving it in more than anything else. I mean, Human, and he throws himself in there. So it's a handball given to Lesotho. Luckily he was already outside the box. Well, advantage for Lesotho to try and maybe get a goal, to try and force Olutu Mzimela to save something. Well, here's the main man, Coach Thabo Sinong, who's just watching over his mentees coaching against each other. So they know each other very well, should we say, because he is assisted by Bafokeng in Lesotho, and Helman Kelele was his assistant for the longest time when he was still in South Africa. Now Coach Thabo Sinong is here to see a number of players that he would like to promote to the senior team. So being here, just seeing how they play, how they contain themselves throughout the tournament will be of interest to him. That's going to be a 1v1 most of the time in the box. Now the ball played in, but Mzimela easily grabs that one. Rolls it to Apolis to find Human. Well, Human needs to roll it to Sinenjongo Mkiva, and Mkiva pops out. Can he convert this time around? And yes, he does. Let me tell you the orchestration of this goal. Now, Mzimela going all the way, because he's the creator of that goal. The quick play coming from him, and he's an excited player. Now, if you look at this pass from Robin Human in the right space, and the main man tried to pull him, and lucky they couldn't tell Rankasa. And Sinenjongo Mkiva finally registers his first goal. Well, good compose, and picking off the sport more than him going for laces was a better option. Oh, South Africa now on 3 goals. And Lesotho is still to register a goal in this match. Oh, it is that man, Sinenjongo Mkiva. Let's say South African 2019 opening was well, South Africa 3 and Lesotho 0. Well, South Africa's opening match against Mauritius at the Sunset Stadium in 2019, they won 5-0. Now, Lesotho had lost to Madagascar by 3-0. It tells you that then South Africa went on to draw with Madagascar that beat this very same Lesotho team. It's a bit of a tricky one. And then South Africa played with Lesotho at the Nkoloma Stadium, and South Africa beat Lesotho 4-0. South Africa currently leading by 3-0. Now Apollos to that man, and Sinenjongo Mkiva coming wide now, creating space for Rowan, for the likes of Alvin Apollos to tack in and become the striker. And Sinenjongo just peeling off, coming wide to draw the two centre backs that are following him most of the time. A smart move, and those runs coming from the likes of Osvin Apollos must be given credit, especially the off-the-ball movements, and forever becoming an attacking threat. And the Ethan Brooks as well, just forever making quality runs. The ball played it to the co-scorer, that is Mkiva, trying to find Jaden, and Jaden was unlucky there, but a good pass and a good idea from him. Regardless that Osvin Apollos was in a better position, but he opted to go for the man on the back, the man on the run. That was Jaden Adams. Well, 45 minutes has gone by, and only 4 minutes will be added on to just see this first half finish. We are, well, say 3 minutes and a couple of seconds away from our players going to the change room. Now Rahim Milazi. It's Ethan Brooks, the man of the match of the previous encounter, of course. He now just plays smart again. Now look at Sinenjongo Mkiva's confidence to just lay the ball for himself and put in a cross, and trying to find Ethan Brooks, but keeper was alert enough. Now the pressing coming from Rahim Milazi, coming back inside to assist with the marking. If you see, the two wingers are now playing in the center because they're high pressing. They win the ball very quickly. They don't give them more than 5 seconds to just play the ball. That is Lesotho. The keeper seems to be Muso Seshulu, seems to be injured, and asked to take the ball out. Coach Helman Mkelele will be the most excited coach now because he has the lead. You know that young man is down, Muso Sisholo, who's seen 3 goals go past him, and just unlucky there coming from Jaden Adams when he tried to score that ball, and his right foot fell on to the leg of Moseu. Well, it seems like a second choice goalkeeper will then try and warm up. That is Utlanang Liemo. Lioma rather. Oh, the other keeper seems to be fine. Now Ethan Brooks was on a position to take that one. And here's a missed kick, but this man wants to profit from it. That is Rowan Human. Used to have a nickname called Midnight Express. That is Herman Mkelele. Oh, ball cleared out there. Well, only a few seconds away from getting a halftime break from the main man, Ishmael Chizinga. Oh, rather, not Ishmael, rather Kiabetu Dinto from Botswana. No, Apollos on the run and to find Jaden Adams. Well, the ref says it's fine, it's all good. Yes, you got your goals and others could not get their goals. It is this man who just fired a cracker, something venomous, towards the keeper and was just able to score a goal. And this young man who saw fireworks in the first half. And here comes the pain that is Sinenjongo Mkiva, a pacey, skillful left footer. Oh, solid defense with that South African side. That is Muhlala Makola. Well, as things stand, it is South Africa 3 and Lesotho 0. Now here, the goals coming in. That is Oshin Apollos just laying it in there with an opportunity there. Almost being an own goal again from that man, Shalili Kota. But Museu was able to read that one and reflexes were on point there. I must say, keeper was just well reflexed. Again, look who's putting pressure. That is Ethan. Now, a corner that could have been cleared better. Jaden Adams still profits from it. And eventually, this man, Tapelo Mohale, scores at home. Well, the plan was to kick it away, but it was his weaker foot rather, and was unable to clear it at first. Getting so much pressure from Makola and Ethan Brooks again. This man on the money on the bike puts another striker and just go over the crossbar. That is Oswin Apollos. No, Makola just trailing those passes in, and again a shot coming from this man, Rowan Human. After Jaden Adams has done all the dirty work, and it was just like, take profit, mate. Strike that thing into the net. And of course, Museu Sihlolo was unable to just save that one. Good power. And it changed direction as the keeper was waiting for it. And it forced him to dive. Oh, again, this man was given a pass from Rowan Human, and Sinenjongo Mkiva was able to actually beat Tsela Rankasa with a run. Wasn't expecting the pass, but his alertness, that is Sinenjongo, was able to score that one. Well, statistics are saying dominance, but dominance. 9 goal attempts by South Africa and 3 scored short on target. 1 was scored. Now, advantage is that ball position favors South Africa and Lesotho 35%. Well, he's back to basics. As for Lesotho, they'll be looking into maybe trying to get an early goal in the second half to just try and break or crack the defense of South Africa, hoping that they could come back into the game. At least maybe they can steal a draw. It's not over. We all know that remaining 45 minutes is all system go, and you want to all in when you are Lesotho. And when you are South Africa, you want to just keep the ball. You want to just control the tempo of the game and be in ownership of the pace of the match. And whatever Lesotho brings it to them, the level of alertness needs to be on a point. Mzimana's first game, and he's already just a happy young man. Not that much of a test has been put to him or challenge posed to him, but he's been quite an instrumental player, just speaking to his teammates and just giving them information. Also, those play a part in football. It is the second half, and South Africa are just looking at getting more goals and more goals and more goals, so that they can maybe want to win their next match, coming to maybe be on #1 spot to bypass Mozambique. And Mozambican side are still sitting on 6 points and comfortably, so happy that they will be now advancing. They will be now making the group out of the group stages. Lesotho starting to play from the back, but getting a lot of high pressing coming from South Africa, and a miss kick there to give Oswin Apollos, and he strikes. Well, he gets it at the first pole. I mean, if they make mistakes, we benefit. And Oswin Apollos was well positioned. And a poor clearance from Tibelo Musweu. And Oswin Apollos is saying, I can do it right. Well, there was a foul initially, but the ref gave advantage. And Rahim Milazi just outswinging it to invite Oswin Apollos. And Oswin Apollos needed just 2 touch from Tibelo Musweu to beat that man, Musweu Sihlulu. Or just a team that converts their chances early. First pole to beat the keeper. Well, this is the score that South Africa beat Lesotho with last year. So this time around, they are leading 4 again against Lesotho. Lesotho, can they ever get a revenge against this unstoppable South Africa, especially in this match? Machita have been just putting a lot of pressure and showing that they wanted it so bad. Lesotho side not the greatest in terms of their first touch and their decision making now. Rahim Milazi up against that man who is just scored an own goal, that is Chapelo Mohale. Milazi was unable to cross it to Sinenjongo Mkiva. Now a ball whipped in to find the 2 happy people in the center, that is Rowan Human and Sinenjongo Mkiva. Rahim Milazi. Now, coach would maybe, Madam Kelly wanted to bring at least to the likes of Bilai Baloi, who is a left back. I don't think you would need to bring him on, but a Keenan de Bezenate would be a possible substitution. Give at least Keleto Sifama another run to see if you cannot rest Rahim Milazi. No, substitution is on standby for Lesotho. Just earlier, just early in the second half, already bringing out this man Tsela Rankasa. Bringing on this Bakwena Ramakatsa, who will be looking into maybe reviving the team. That is Rakwena. Now a ball with Human trying to find a police. Now Lesotho on the front foot here, trying to maybe find themselves a scoring. It seems to be not materializing for them. Rahim trying to play a smart pocket pass instead of him going for goal, because the police and them are ready for a second ball. Makola playing it to Mzimela back to Makola, and getting out of a situation is so nice and smooth to find Leonardo Roy, who then goes longer to try and find Ethan Brooks. And young man Leonardo Roy is one of the future under 17 championships winners, and he's played it for Highlands Park. We know Highlands Park has already been sold out. And, he has matriculated already as a young man, so pretty much an idea that you have a well-rounded athlete going forward. Also wants to pursue some academics whilst he's a footballer, or if he matriculated in 2019, he'll be starting his first year very soon, if he is not already a first year. No. A throw in against Lesotho. Passes, I still say, passes by Lesotho are really not going to the right people. Rahim Milazi gets his body in front of that man, Siyabonga Manyara, and Ethan Brooks just calming the game, of course. Now passes again, just passing one another to find Leonardo Roll, who drills it in to try and pin it to Rowan Human. Makola solid enough to just push it closer to the center, and the recovery there is just amazing. It's just good because he's comfortable at pushing too high, and the people in the center would cover him, the likes of Ethan Brooks. If not him, then Rowan Human will be the person to come deep and assist him when he pushes forward. Now Milazi to Roy, and Roy finds Human. Human switches play to goes corner. Khatebe advances with that one, and a bit of a skill there to find Oswin Apollis. Ball played calmly so to Makola and Ethan Brooks to come and collect again. No pass that was not given the direction. Roman Human putting his body all over the show just to win that one, and Sinenjongo was intercepted. Shai Likotla goes wide to find Mukolisi Mutahe. Now Apollis to Human. Human finds Brooks. Brooks drops a shoulder and it gives a strike, but not anything to trouble Museu. He knows what he wanted to do. Maybe he needed to lean a bit forward to get it as low as he can. And I think he just slightly leaned back and waited for an outer foot, which resulted into just going too high. Milazi being bulldozed there, but standing strong from Siyabonga Manyara, a young man from Majancha FC. And made his debut for the under-20 national team in 2017 against South Africa. I believe that was a COSAFA under-17 championship. He's 18 years of age. Sinenjongo tries to drill it in, but Milazi not given room by this man Tapelo Mohai. Milazi turns and he falls from that 10. Makola switching playing. Brooks in the center, just keeping guidance and staying cool, calm and collected, just having a smooth play with his touches and passes. Makola couldn't read the run from Ethan Brooks. Now Milazi wants to get on the back and he gets it right, but a bit of pulling there. But again, his teammate Roy was strong enough to try and follow it up with the run, and went out. Game has to stop a little bit because he was going too hard and he happened to injure himself in the process. That is Katiso Siridi. Oh, now remember, we are live on your www.COSAFA TV, and engage with us if you would like to share your views and your opinions. And it is hashtag COSAFA under 20 on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. You can just give us your thoughts and what you think of the game as well. We'll then share our response too. Obviously, won't read and pass. We want blue ticks you here. We not that agenda or that kind. Should I say more? Maybe not. Now Roy on the ball. Oh, Roy gets kicked on the... It is a bookable offense, this one, with no excuse. The ref has to reach for his cards and say, Siyabonga Manyara, you now skating on thin ice. Because they have already beaten you. No intention of playing the ball. Rather, bring the man down and deny him the run. And keeper just shouting instructions to his teammates, saying, "Molibo ding, Klua Molibo ding." It's just one of those moments where the ball is played in and the keeper's watching it with the hope that his defenders are going to clear it out the box when he has a better option to collect the ball. And Jaden Adams just being that sharp nerve in the final third most of the time. Hellman and Kelele there, assisted by Monde. Makola just putting his body and guiding the opposition very well. They just not letting it go out without him watching over the ball. To a throw-in by Tapelo Mohale, future economist with 14 caps. Makola. No, Makola is just starting to become a smart player. There's just ball watching that one. Skipping it for Roy. The ball still for South Africa in the center. Rowan Human being an instrument, being the orchestrator of that center of the park, denying room for Lesotho to play. A ball with switch of play, trying to find that man, but still Kanalelo Rapuleng with the ball and played along to just find Mzimela, who comes out and he calls for it. Well, he created a goal, so he might start again. Apolis. The ball to Makola and finds Roy. Back to Makola. Well, keeping the ball is what South Africa now are going to do, because chasing for a fifth goal is ideally there, but do they really have to? Well, still early stages of the game. Maybe they want to surpass the score they scored Lesotho at Nkoloma Stadium, and they won 4 goals to nil. That's when they advanced to the semi-finals, where they won against Madagascar by 5-4. Ball played to Apolis, and Apolis to Rowan, and it strikes a shot. The keeper spills it out, and Sinanjongam Kiva says, I will profit from your errors. Oh, keeper wasn't able to just grab that one at first. And the pressure being put by Sinanjongam Kiva. Now, if you look at Oswin Apolis, initially just not intending to take that shot, but the keeper then it goes to try and save that one, but the first attempt was not the greatest. Well, he's been spilling them most of the time, and especially when they come in short, he's unable to pocket any of those balls. And the claim of an injury, which is not there. You know, when you consider a lot, and Sinanjongam Kiva is the goal scorer. Well, 2 goals on this game, which is good for him. It paying his debt from a previous match where he didn't score a goal. Keeper seems to be just seeking attention from the medics. Let's get his boot back on and continue to be the Mandy, be the keeper who finishes this game. Not a happy man. This coach, and it's only fair, but for King Mohapi. Here's what Apolis did, couldn't get it in, and Police was putting pressure, and he rolled it for Human, and Human took that shot, but Museu was unable to save it, and Kiva was just there to profit from it. Well, substitution by South Africa. Rest some of the players, roll the players rather, and just bring in Tsepo Mieni, and bring out Jaden Adams, who has had his fair role as well in the game. And now Tsepo Mieni comes on. Give the players a run, coach, if you can. You've got the time, you've got the score, so you then bring out the Stellies young star, who's currently in grade 11, that is Jaden Adams. He has 10 club goals, and it is a first start with the South African national team. South Africa now needs to maybe go and hunt for the 6th goal. Can they be the first team this year or in this championship to score more than 5 goals? Looks like it. It's heading there. And then the South African side lost it to, no, it didn't lose. They rather won against Madagascar on penalties. All during the game they finished 2-2, and went on to lose to Zambia by 3-0. So it's all about revenge. Good. Ozinapolis trying to drive it, but not the greatest. And Rowan Human rather, he then says sorry chance. Well, I'll say Harry. Now here's Makola, who's becoming comfortable and just makes a clumsy pass. It's a wee man, Shomelang Libina. Shomelang Libina. So Lesotho on the ball to find the Siabonga Manyaga, and he loses Ethan Brooks that quick. No, Roy clears that one out of danger. No, he finds that man Tapelo Mohale Katiso Siriri. Polish looking for Mkiva. Mkiva finds the new man, Tsepo Mieni. Couldn't return the favor. That is a promise. Now seems to be a push coming there behind in Ghost Corner. By that man, Mukulisi Mutahe, was just unable to win it fairly, but came from behind, trying to put his body in. And lucky he then fouled Nkosko Nahatebe, who just woke up and put his hand up and says, Rev, can you see that? Oh, Hammond Kelly has a number of players warming up on the far end of the pitch just to try and give them legs. Ball bounces off the wall, but still in the box in a dangerous area for Rahim Milazi. And cleared by Siabonga Manyaga. Katiso Silili plays for Bantu FC in Lesotho. Young man from Maseru. Made his debut in 2016 for the Lesotho national team. That probably was with under 17s. Comes from Maseru. Now Hatebe wants to take an ambitious shot. Well, if the score is like this, why not try? I mean, it allows him a number of attempts. Lesotho's on 1 attempt at goal. South Africa is sitting on 15. And those attempts were goals. 5 of them were goals rather, not 15 of them were goals. Human speed of the ball not good enough for him. Paul is to Hadebe to Mkala. Getting him Zimela a feel of the ball. Just to keep warm and be in the zone, be in the game, because waiting for such a long time without touching the ball is a bit of a challenge. Human is it's just keeping the ball, also passing around, and now they go long unnecessarily. Rather play Mkaba right in front of you. No need for you to go that wide. Keep the passes short, keep the ball on the ground, frustrate the opposition. It's 2v1, South Africa quick to win those balls, and it's just to try and catch them at a break or in a counter. Now Rahim Milazi, a pacey one, then he leashes his horses. There's a Speedy Gonzalez, and he's got his ball on his feet, but it's 2v1. The layover was not the greatest to try and find Leonardo Roy. No, Lesotho putting pressure, but not able to keep the ball. Human trying to find that man on the side, Sifama, rather Sinenjong. Ethan Brooks to Makola. Kola to now through ball to find us in Njongam Kiva while they were still napping. This man says, hey, where are you going? I see you. Trying to run it down. Not now. Well, cooling break is taking place now, giving them a bit of a chance to rest and listen to what the coach has to say. There's a young man taking a shower, that is Makola. Well, chances were here, putting pressure coming from Roy, just finding that man Rahim Milazi, who goes for a long range cross to find Apollis and applies 2 touches and then a strike, which resulted into him scoring that goal. Oh, marking and clearing off the ball was poor from Tabelo Museu. And then Apollis profits from this error. I mean, what could have gone wrong here for Lesotho to just clear this ball? South Africa thick and heavy for them. I can't seem to contain them. Now Apollis again rolls it for Human. Human goes for a strike at goal, but keeper not even too heavy. That ball wasn't even too heavy, rather. You could have just easily grabbed it, but always grabs them at second attempt, and the pressure coming from Sinenjong was just amazing, because coach was then applauding it and saying a good chance. You know, South Africa has made those necessary changes to rest a few players that have huge minutes on their legs. Now Rivaldo present is brought on to rest Rowan Human. No, to just especially Human, that it comes from a lengthy season in Israel where he was playing already, and barely had rest and barely camped with the team. So you'd rather reduce the minutes if there's room for you to do that. Well, the other side seems to be going well because Angola just leading and goal. Just a goal up. It's promising for them because now there are 2 goals up, and Tangu Gustavo is a scorer there. Now with the conditions have just been cloudy and cloudy throughout the day. Not a bit of sun was seen today, and it worked to the players' advantage because when it's hot they get tired quickly. Now this time around they're able to play. Now again, there's a header that is not fruitful coming from number 9, Hlumelang Libina, player who has 6 caps already and 2 goals. Became player of the top of the season, a top goal scorer as well. And but today he hasn't been the greatest day for him in this match. Barely seeing the ball. Ball played wide to pace the man, but meets a tall man. Inado Uroi chips it over to find Sinenjong Kiva. Kiva up against Tapelo. Kiva rolls it for Ethan Brooks, and Ethan Brooks rolls it for Oswin Apollis. Is also there now. Apollis is getting a shot, but unable to take that shot. And Ethan Brooks, the second time around, not connecting the way he would have loved to. I must say that Tsepo Mieni was also there making those runs, and he brought it back with a back heel to give Oswin Apollis. Now here's a man who's just looking to get more goals and more goals on his legs to frustrate this man in terms of how he just gets out of this situation. That is Bafukeng Mohapi. Not seeing the greatest in this match. South Africa have all the time in the world to start the ball in the back, and Ethan Brooks just putting a good pass to find Rahim Milazi, who then protects it against Museu Sihlulu. The coach is defeated, is not even bringing it back. Shali Likota was just there on your shot. Now Tsepo Mieni hasn't done much of the work here. He's been just running with the ball and going away from the frame of goal. Now Shibobo by Mukolisi Mutahe to find his teammate Hlumelang Libina, who has no support there. It's a 2-on-1 situation. He's gone down with a huge scream. And then he gets up thereafter. Rakwena Ramuhadze. No, he said peace against this man. Can he be tried and tested at least for once in this match? Just force him, Zimela, to just pull a save. Well, good height on the ball, well monitored out, and a good communication from Zimela. Just standing his ground, and Mukoli Simutai is unable to pinpoint it to his teammates. Now, fresh legs coming on. This man, there is Rivaldo present. Now, Speedy Gonzalez, that is Rahim Milazi with a good drop off his shoulder, and his teammates are just saying, Rahim. Well, it seems like legs of Rahim Milazi have given in, and He's just using his mind now, but physically he's not okay. Now it seems to be rather looking at getting substituted. Oh, 7 out and 19 comes on for Lesotho. That is Tumelisho Ratsui. Should have maybe made that sub earlier because he hasn't really given much in this game. I know the coach had his hopes that he will perhaps rise eventually. Tumeliso will be coming on to try and finish off the game for the team. Maybe a consolation goal will be something they see. I can hear players are calling the ball and just hearing the human ball is saying us to leave. Now again another mistake coming from them, and Rahim Minazi was going for a shot. Well, keeper luckily it was away from the face of goal, because this man maybe could have scored that goal. If you look at the power behind it, it's just away from the face of goal. The keeper is a bit defeated. Oh, a simple ball like that one was just unable to grab it at first. Now first attempt. Can tell that Rahim Milas is most likely going to be the player to be rested here. I think he's had a fair run. And we know that there's another pacey, skillful player on the wing side. That is Keleto Sifama. He's the Chiefs man in the first team. Oh, one of the MTC's players for Kaizer Chiefs. Nakola tried to find Rahim, but Rahim was nowhere to be found. Again, Rahim has regained his confidence and his speed. Well, he's generated enough. Now he plays with the Sinenjongo. Sinenjongo putting that pressure, but cleared away. Ethan Brooks finds Roy. Roy goes for shot. Oh, keeper guides it out. Roy is doing extra work now because he's forced to get closer to Rahim, try and help him press high so that he's the one now that gets in those crosses. Now ball played long to that number 9, and he puts his body in it. Now he takes a shot, but not much power to trouble. Over to Mzimela. Mzimela just trying to roll it to Apollos, who waited for the ball, is compared to him meeting it halfway. Oh, Ethan Brooks is coming off. No, I thought maybe Keleto Sifama would come to the side, but he still then stays, Milazi. Oh, the coach says you stay and you run. Now here's the new man already on the running. Now he takes a shot on his first touch, just wanting to register his name in the goal scorers. Oh, the wind seems to be just picking up and picking up. Oh, hasn't seen it affecting the game because it's just the ball being played down most of the time. Ball intercepted. Milazi goes wide to Apollos, goes behind the defenders to try and find Sifama. The speed of the ball is too fast for him. Now Apollos putting pressure and getting the ball and trying to cut it back in, but cleared. No, just a new man also who could have taken a better shot There is a Rivaldo present. Cleared by Tibelo Musweu to the main man, Hlumela Libina. Can Lesotho maybe build something here and get a consolation goal? Still Hlumelang, well, he's got the support from his teammate Rakwena. Forced it to go back. The numbers don't add up for them to play. Switch of play. Now a good chest up and an attempt to take a shot, but unable to just get it right to connect there. Oh, Hlumelang Libina now is coming out, just fighting for a ball. No intention to play the ball by Hlumelang Libina. And he fouls this man in Goskona Khatebe. Oh, I must give credit to the colleagues that are just standing against the wind and just to give you this beautiful game. I'll say they also play a solid role and they just keep warm by just watching the game through the lens. Camera crew, keep warm the best way that you can. Keep those quality shots coming. Now Makola needs to turn here, can't play the keeper. Seems like everybody's going towards the keeper. Now Nkaba with a uncertain pass. Or keeping the ball is ideally what they need to do now. And Nkaba to Makola. Oh, Sine Jongo finds himself with a 10. Oh, again a communication error there between Tapelo Mohale and Museu. I mean, he's a defeated keeper now. And this man has got himself a hat-trick. No, probably the first hat-trick. Look at the pass and the 10, just having the centre back behind him. Oh, seems to be another own goal, should we say, if we're all honest. Look at that touch, opening his body and making that 10. Well, it's not really an own goal. There was no contact from Tapelo. Monde says quality youngster, the quality. He's on a roll, this man. Sinenjongom Kiva on his first hat-trick. Oh, clearly the match ball is going home with him. And they're scoring a hat-trick. Well, Lesotho still to register a goal, and South Africa have registered 6. Now again to this man, Rahim Milazi. Gets in the box and tries to put in a cross with his left foot, but this time around denied by that man, Shaili Kota. Seems like this is the highest scoring game. The ball played in and Roy been looking for this shot, but it seems to not get it right. It's coming, young man. Just be patient and keep on playing like you play. Now 3 minutes remaining on the clock with not yet communicated additional times. We yet to hear who is how many minutes and who is promising man of the match. Now ball with Makola to Sifama, back to Makola. Roy now in the center to that man Tsepo Mieni. Mieni to Ngoskona Khatebe. Khatebe finds Apollos. Oh, good pressure, knowing that the ball is not going to be possible for you to play it. A bit of an improvisation there from the center there. Long ball played it to was South Africa, but brought back by Roy. And Tsepomieni with present finds Apollos on the bike, and already numbers have jumped the half of South Africa, and a switch of play coming from Koshko Nakate, able to find Sifama with the first touch. Back to Mieni in the center, who then finds Kiva trying to play something tricky from the training ground with this man. That's Kiva was trying to play it with Keleto Sifama. Kiva just keeping the ball, protecting it. Now he turns against two men. Center back says, if you come at me, Shali Likota, I will then have to take it out. Keeper, that is Museu Sihlolo. I say that our colleagues are vice versa dancing with us. It's just showing us what they can do behind the scenes. 5 minutes is the additional time. I think that board was about to break it. And the fourth official was quickly to bring it back. Tapelo Mohale guides it out, knowing that the pressure coming from Osvinapolis might be troublesome, so rather guide the ball out and start over from the goal kick. Ball by Lesotho trying to get out of the danger zone, or rather get out of their half. It seems to be the toughest time. Well, top goal scorer at his academy seems to be not coming right in South Africa, against South Africa, and hasn't registered a goal in this match. Paul is going for a strike, and keeper spills it again, and he then Tsepomieni says, I get closer too, and I can get myself a goal. Oh, keeper. Well, it is this man, Tsepomieni. Oh, defeated. Man is this man. Osvinapolis says, I'm going to go for a strike, and he goes for it. They know the keeper spills them. Tsepomieni just there to profit from that. Oh, well deposited cross and a well registered account by this man, Tsepomieni. Going for 6. Well, additional time is 5 minutes. However, Lesotho yet to register a goal, and South Africa have registered 7 goals. For Lesotho, now you'll just chase and hope for the time to just go by, and the referee blows the final whistle, because Keleto Sifama is a skillful player and want to do all skills in the box. And the coaches are standing next to him and saying, just go back and mark, because he just lost the ball. You can't foul him. Present trying to find a Roy, and Roy had a solid game. I mean, he came on to replace Bilal Baloy. Shifting aside from Lesotho, and then trying to find a top goal scorer, and then he goes for a shot. Well, goes across the frame of goal and results into South Africa throw in. Well, looking at the scores and knowing that a number of games are not yet over and there's more games to come. I mean, if you look at the groups that are playing, Lesotho have a game against Zimbabwe. Oh, Zimbabwe will be looking into consoling themselves with that game, and Lesotho will also be looking at consoling themselves. And South Africa now will have to battle it out for that number 1 spot against Mozambique. Oh, that is Group A games on the 8th of December. Well, Lesotho will be playing at Wolfson Stadium, and the ball is played in, and Zimela makes a call to just distract those who are attempting to go at it. And South Africa versus Mozambique will be here at Wolfson Stadium, and Zimbabwe versus Lesotho will be played at Galvindale. Both games will kick off simultaneously, and again you will see that South Africa and Mozambique will be looking to fight for that number 1 spot, because if Mozambique wins that game, they'll be on 9 points. If South Africa wins that game, they'll be on 7 points. If it's a draw, nobody moves. Well, goal difference will then mean that South Africa will go up, considering that they would have scored more goals. And Mozambique will then take a 2nd spot in the group stage as well. The ref says, I've seen it all, I've seen enough. It's time for us to go press the reset button. It's time for us to go rest Mr. Apollos. As this man who scored a hat-trick, that is Shomulang Libina. As the man that has scored a hat-trick. That is a big man. Sinenjongo Umkiva. As most likely also going to take the man of the match accolade, should that be the case, because he's posed enough character, enough personality. And yes, of course, the ball is brought to him by the Lesotho players and say, here's your ball. Well, full-time score, it is Lesotho 0 and South Africa winning 7. Oh, high pressing, nothing but high pressing. They're coming from Roy to just give this man, Rahim Milazi, to cross it to Osvin Apollos, and Apollos was able to say, I will profit from that one in the first ball. We got full, Devin. No, that miss kick coming from Tibelo Museu was just a poor way of defending. There was no one pressing you, no one putting you under pressure. You could have even added a touch, because Osvin was a few meters away from you. Now, this man Osvin says, I will profit from that. My team, let us celebrate. Again, Roy finds the main man, that is Osvin Apollos, who then lays it for Rowan Human, who strikes a shot, and Sinenjong Kiva putting pressure towards the keeper, who spills every shot that comes at him, and South Africa were able to profit from that. And he could have grabbed it properly, but not the greatest saves at all. And if you look at his arms spread wide like that, but still unable to just grab that ball at first attempt, was a bit disappointing, but exciting for this man, Coach Helman Mkelele. And he shows his predecessor that I can do it too. We've learned from the best. Nicely played long ball to find that man, Shomelang Libina, who was just unable to get it past them, Zimela, but Zimela well positioned and able to grab it at first. Again, the ball is given to Roy, and Roy gives it to who? Again, Sinenjongo, and it opens up his body to 10, and then he finds himself facing the keeper and being able to slot it on the far post as the keeper was charging out. Now, let's look at the height of this ball and the decision making Everything was right. Open your body, a 10 inside, and then slot it in. No power, but it's just a good pass into the net. And that's worth the celebration by this man who scored a hat-trick. Now another shot came in from Oswin Apollis to give this man, Tsepo Myeni, who came in as a sub, to score that one goal. I mean, if you look at the power again, keeper spills them again, and Tsepo Myeni profits from it. Well, South Africa were up on a roll here. Well, statistics are telling you that attack, and attack. That South Africa had 20 goal attempts with 2 against Lesotho. I mean, if you look at the offsides, only 1. But ball position remains in South Africa, and Lesotho just 35.
Opulent football being displayed here by South Africa. 7-0 victors against Lesotho. Joining me, we have our man of the match, Oswin Apollis. Oswin, congratulations. I mean, today you gave them a torrid time on the right wing.
Yeah, right. It was a good game. I think the boys spoke about it in the hotel about we need this victory more than anything because we take each game as a final. But as on the right wing, I just had one plan to kill my left back, and I did it. And with the team, yeah, with the 1-2, we managed to get all the 7 goals.
Also the range, I mean, the way that you play, but you're not scared to take those shots.
Yeah, well, I'm not scared because I look at some of the PSL players where they took long range shots, and sometimes you never know it can go in.
So one day you'll be hoping to maybe get a Puskas nomination, but that's a different story. Congratulations, Oswin.
Yeah, that's a different story. I hope I will get one day a Puskas award. So yeah, that's a different story.
Thank you so much, Oswin. He also got on the score sheet today as South Africa were dominant against Lesotho. I will now be joined by the coach of Lesotho, Coach Bafokeng. Coach, appreciate your time. Where do you feel that the team was found wanting today?
I think just with the limited time that we had, and then the age, we've got a very young team. Most of them are from the under 17, and then you could see we even have 3 under 16. So it was very difficult to compete with them, with South Africa in terms of fitness level. 2 days wasn't enough for our players to recover. As you could see, they could win each and every ball that we went. That was 50-50, and physically they looked much better compared to our players.
And like you're saying that physically South Africa looked better from a development front, as you're saying that you brought in a young squad. What is it that you're seeing that from these players? Because right now the chances don't look so good for progressing in the competition, but from a development front?
Yeah, it's a team for the future. Yeah? So we could see that next year most of them they will still be around. I think only 4 players will be out of the squad. That gives us a chance of bringing them back and then to compete with the next competition that we'll be facing next year.
Hard luck. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thanks so much.
The coach so hard to match South Africa. South Africa running like a very well-oiled machine. I am now joined by the coach of South Africa, Coach Helman. Coach, you said this was like a cup final, and the boys displayed that.
Thank you so much, my sister. Yeah, I'm so happy. The way how the boys played. They played according to the instruction because this is our game plan. We knew that they would be sitting back and they would also be compact. So for us it is crucial that they will make the runs into pocket spaces and behind their defensive lines and make sure that each and every opportunity that we get, we make use of it, and indeed we make use of it. I'm so proud of my boys. Thank you.
And that was something that you mentioned in the build-up, and you said we create so many opportunities. Right now it should be a conversion thing. The fluidity now within the team, coach, because Oswin talks about those 1-2 passes which led ultimately to the goals.
Yeah. Like we've been working on it, and thanks God, we had an opportunity to watch Lesotho, and study them. Then we look at our strength and we said, because of the qualities that we have individually, then we needed to incorporate it to a teamwork whereby, we have quality passes and also quality runs in between, into crucial areas of the field where we can score. And we managed to score a lot of goals, and right now I'm so happy because the destiny is in our hands now.
Can we look forward to the next game against Mozambique?
Yeah, we are looking forward to Mozambique, and also we are aware that they are a very strong team, a formidable team, so we will take the next hours to study them and see how we can come up against them, and more especially to make sure that we win that game, because it will give us the ticket to the semi-finals.
Congratulations, coach.
Thank you so much.
South Africa today, they were a marvel to watch. A dominant performance from Amachida. As we look at what transpired today, Mozambique getting a victory against Zimbabwe in the first game. And in this one here, it was South Africa that were rampant against Lesotho. Over at the Galvindale Stadium, that's where Angola boosted their chances with that victory against Botswana. Looking at how things look now, we're getting down to that business end where teams now have to put up their hands in terms of the knockout stages. Mozambique in firm control of their future, sitting top of the table. South Africa, for them, that particular game against Mozambique will be a do or die. Look at Zimbabwe, just that point against South Africa. Lesotho, back-to-back defeats for them. We look at Group B as all the teams have now played one game. They'll be in action tomorrow with Malawi and Zambia winning their first games and now leading the charge as far as the group standings are concerned. The Comoros and Namibia lost their first games, meaning that tomorrow's games will be so important for them if they have any chances of going through to the next round. Angola and Eswatini recording victories, but for Angola, that was their final group game match. So they'll be looking at that particular clash that will follow between Eswatini and Botswana and hope that they get a result that's favorable to them. But as things currently stand, Eswatini and Botswana have played a game apiece. Man, we enjoyed the football out here today at the Wolfson Stadium. Exciting times as far as the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship is concerned. Now we look forward to what tomorrow brings. It is the Comoros up against Zambia. Group B fixtures, Namibia will try and at least get a victory after they lost their opening clash. So Namibia will be up against Malawi. Tomorrow we shift the focus as we change the gear, fully focusing on Group B. Exciting times, as I did mention, as other teams have already started now preparing and seeing what it is that they need to do, as well as squad depth and resting a couple of the players. Well, from myself, Lerato Pajo, thank you so much for joining us, and the incredible team, it's goodbye.